Before skyscrapers and subways, the Bronx was just land, lush, green, and peaceful. The Siwanoy people, part of the Lenape nation, called it home, living off the rivers and forests. They named the Bronx River Aquahung, River of High Bluffs. In 1639, Jonas Bronk, a Swedish farmer, arrived and settled on 500 acres. He made peace with the Lenape and farmed quietly, never knowing his name would define a borough. The area stayed rural for years, a countryside escape for wealthy Manhattanites. They built grand estates, rode horses for miles, and enjoyed the quiet. The name the Bronx stuck from people saying they were visiting the Bronx. It's the only NYC borough with "the" in its name, making it sound grand, almost legendary. Over time, the land shifted from native home to farmland to a retreat for the city's elite. But through every era it remained special ground. From the Lenape to Jonas Bronk to city dwellers seeking green space, the Bronx has always been a place people wanted to be. Its story is rooted in change, but also in a sense of place. The Bronx's identity is built on layers: native, colonial, rural, and urban. Even before it became part of New York City, it was already unique. The land's history is a reminder. Every city starts somewhere, with people who call it home. The Bronx's story is about transformation, but also about holding on to what makes it different. It's always been a little apart, a little proud, and a lot important. That's why it's not just Bronx, it's the Bronx. And that's how it all began. How did farmland become part of the city that never sleeps? Slowly, and then all at once. As Manhattan filled up in the 1800s, the city looked north for space. In 1874, New York annexed the western Bronx, places like Mott Haven and Kingsbridge. By 1895, the rest of the Bronx was absorbed. In 1898, the five-borough city was born, and the Bronx was officially in. Bridges and subways soon connected the Bronx to Manhattan, making it accessible and attractive. Suddenly, city workers could live in the Bronx and commute with ease. Farms gave way to apartment buildings and streets. The Grand Concourse was built, a boulevard inspired by Paris, lined with Art Deco apartments. The Bronx became more than a cheap alternative. It was a destination. Parks, homes, and easy city access made it desirable. The Bronx's identity shifted from rural to urban, from outsider to essential. It was no longer just the city's backyard, it was part of the city's heart. The transformation was dramatic, but the Bronx kept its own flavor. It was ready for its close-up, and the world was watching. The Bronx had arrived, and it was just getting started. Once the subways and bridges opened, the Bronx became a magnet for newcomers. Early 1900s, Irish, Italian, and Jewish families left crowded Manhattan for bigger apartments and a taste of the suburbs. Arthur Avenue became the Bronx's Little Italy, alive with bakeries, delis, and tradition. After World War II, African Americans from the South and Puerto Ricans seeking opportunity arrived. The borough's culture exploded. English, Spanish, Italian, and Yiddish, all on one block. Salsa met soul and new traditions were born. The Bronx became a true melting pot, always evolving. There were challenges, but more often, people found ways to live together and build something new. The Bronx's diversity became its greatest strength. The 1970s hit the Bronx hard. Fires raged, sometimes set for insurance, sometimes out of neglect. The city was broke, services were slashed, and neighborhoods emptied out. White flight changed the borough's makeup, leaving behind mostly Black and Hispanic residents. The Cross Bronx Expressway tore through communities, leaving scars that never fully healed. Poverty soared, businesses closed, and hope was in short supply. The media called it a war zone, but the real story was resilience. Residents formed community groups, cleaned up parks, and demanded better. Even in the worst times, the Bronx spirit didn't break. People looked out for each other, refusing to give up on their home. Out of the chaos, something new was brewing. The Bronx became a symbol of struggle, but also of survival. The fires and decay were real, but so was the determination to rebuild. The borough's toughest years set the stage for a cultural revolution. The people who stayed became the foundation for the Bronx's comeback. They proved that even in the darkest times, hope can take root. The Bronx's story wasn't over, it was about to change the world. In the ashes, creativity sparked. The Bronx was down, but never out, and what came next would echo far beyond New York. Out of hardship, the Bronx gave birth to hip-hop. In 1973 at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, DJ Kool Herc invented a new sound, looping the best parts of records for dancers. Hip-hop was more than music. It was DJing, MCing, breakdancing, and graffiti. It was a voice for the voiceless, a way to say, we matter. Block parties replaced fights with dance battles and rhymes. Early legends like Grandmaster Flash and Africa Bambaataa turned struggle into art. Hip-hop became the Bronx's new story: creativity, resilience, and pride. The world took notice and the beat spread everywhere. From burned-out blocks to global stages, hip-hop proved the Bronx's power. The borough didn't just survive, it changed culture forever. The Bronx's hardest years became its most influential. The music, the art, the attitude, it all started here. And that energy still pulses through the Bronx today. Hip-hop is the Bronx's gift to the world. After the fires, the Bronx rebuilt, slowly but with determination. Community groups and nonprofits turned empty lots into new homes. The arts thrived, graffiti became celebrated, and local artists gained global fame. The Bronx Museum of the Arts showcased the borough's creative spirit. Public art and murals brought color back to the streets. The Bronx rediscovered its parks, Pelham Bay, Van Cortlandt, making them safe and vibrant again. Green spaces became community hubs, new businesses opened, and the Bronx terminal market brought jobs and energy. The transformation wasn't overnight, it was a grind. But Bronxites are grinders. They rebuilt block by block with pride and creativity. The borough's renewal was powered by its people. The Bronx proved it could rise from anything. Today, the Bronx is alive with energy and diversity. Walk its streets and you'll hear dozens of languages and taste food from every corner of the globe. Its mix of cultures is its superpower. Challenges remain: poverty, inequality, and the pressures of gentrification. But there's momentum, new housing, thriving businesses, and a sense of optimism. The Bronx is now a model for urban renewal, not decay. Its cultural legacy is stronger than ever. Hip-hop, Yankee Stadium, the Bronx Zoo, and the Botanical Garden. The borough demands you look past old stereotypes. The Bronx's story is one of resilience and pride. It's a place that faced the worst and came out stronger. The Bronx is tough, creative, and real. It's been through the fire and learned to shine. And as it looks to the future, its light is only getting brighter.